Alright guys, welcome back. Now in this video here, I want to talk about date and time in Python here, okay? Now I'm going to make a new file here. I'm going to do something wrong, but I'm going to do it on purpose here. I'm going to say datetime.py, alright? Now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to say from datetime, I'm going to say import, whoops, not form, from datetime, import datetime. Now this is going to result in an error, and I'm going to show you guys why and what it's all about in a second here, but let's just go ahead and print out something to the console. Or the terminal, I should say here. Let's just say, I don't know, hello world. Save, and I'm going to run this here, and you're going to see it results in an error from here. And it's going to say, cannot import datetime, blah, 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 most likely due to a circular import, okay? So basically what's happening here is basically we're trying to import a module called datetime here, but it's saying, hey, I am datetime here. Don't name files the same thing that you're trying to import, unless you're trying to import that file into something else. But we'll talk about that in a later video here. But this is something to think about here. If you're ever having this issue about circular import, make sure you name this something different than what you're trying to import. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename that. I'm going to hit F12 on my keyboard here. I'm just going to say time.py there. Now if I save this and I run this again from here, you're going to see it now works fine here. If I go to my console, I type in clear and I run it, you're going to see it works exactly fine, just like that, okay? Cool. So now we can get rid of that from there, okay? So date time here. Well, we can get the current time and we can get the current date too. If I say today, oops, today equals date time dot today. And I print out today and I run this here, you're going to see that we get back the current time, excuse me, the current date and the current time there with pretty precise increments from there. If I run it again here, you see that the time changes a little bit more from there, okay? Just as time would change, all right? Now this is cool for me because now I can start to almost tie the outside world into Python too, right? We talked about before writing the files here. If I want to reach out to a web page and again get the price of Bitcoin here, when I can say at a certain time here, that was the price of Bitcoin. And then 5 hours later, I can get the time from that and then say that was the price of Bitcoin from there. Now you have this big long string here, but maybe you want to just get like the day of the week, or maybe you just want to get a certain part of the time here. Well, there's different shortcuts you can kind of do and different methods you can call here. Well, different arguments you pass into a method to format this time in a certain way here, okay? I'm going to give you guys one example here. I'm just going to say example equals, I'm going to say today dot, this is going to, well, it wants to articulate it there for me, but strft time. I'm going to pass in here with single quotes, %, where is it? %, a. And let's go ahead and print out example from here. Save, and let's run this back here. So the lowercase a gives me the day of the week, but shortened from there. If I go to uppercase A, or capitalize A here, save, and I run this back here, now it's the full version here. If I do a capital B, now I get the full month here. Or if I do a lowercase b, now I get the shortened version of the month here, right? So there's different ways to format this date time right here based on to what you need from there, okay? Now you might be thinking like, man, it's a lot to remember, right? Capital B, lowercase b, what if I want this, what if I want that? Well, there's a very important skill that I'm going to teach you guys, so hopefully I can teach you guys here. That might be the most important skill that you're going to learn as a developer here, and that's how to Google something, all right? And it sounds kind of silly, but there's even memes of like people using Python. It's like, you know, day 1 of Python, and they're Googling like, you know, how to format a string in Python. And that's like 3 years into Python, and they're Googling how to format a string in Python. And it's the truth, right? Like a lot of developers, they Google stuff day in, day out. Even myself, I'm always Googling stuff here because there's so much stuff to try to remember. Oftentimes you just forget. And it's like, it's much more beneficial to learn how to Google something, how to properly Google something and find the correct information, rather than trying to memorize every single thing, all right? So to Google we go here, and I'm just going to type in date time, Python, and let's see what comes up here. So this right here is a fantastic resource. I've used these guys before a whole bunch here, especially in my other course where I talk about SQL and Unity. But yeah, let's go ahead and scroll down here. Why don't we try to get the current day of the month here, all right? %d here, and I can go back to my Python. Whoops, other one there. Back to my Python here, and I'm going to paste that right in there with only 1% sign here. Save. Now I can run this back here, and now I get the current day of the month. It's a November 30th here, so that is correct, okay? And like I said, this is really cool because now you can start to log stuff. Now you can start to format stuff. You can bring in other information program somehow, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, guys. The key takeaway here, even beyond all this date time stuff here, actually that changed the format a little bit there. It should be like that. Run it back here just to make sure it still works. cool, still works there. But yeah, other than that, guys, you guys did a great job in this video. Here is learning how to Google stuff. All right, guys, great job in this video. You guys did fantastic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Great work.